Last year, 39 children died due to heat stroke because they were in a hot car. So far in 2025, the National Safety Council has already counted 3 children dying. Today, we're joined by Sue Oriema with Kids and Car Safety to share hot car dangers and how to prevent them. 3 already. I know one was in New Jersey. It was only 61 degrees that day.
Yeah, we definitely want to raise awareness as the temperatures are getting warmer, but remind parents and caregivers in temperatures as low as 60 degrees, the greenhouse effect can still overwhelm a child in a matter of minutes.
All right, so when we take a look at that, I think it was like 61 degrees that day in New Jersey with that first death. And within an hour, it was something like 90 something degrees or 100 degrees. It really multiplies like that.
Yeah, 80% of the heating happens in the first 10 minutes. And within 15 minutes, depending on the temperature that day and the color of the interior, a car could reach 125 degrees, which is too much for a baby to endure.
I think it's easy for a lot of people to say, oh, I would never leave my child in a car. But you've had experience talking with parents who have had that happen to them. Let's take a look at what kind of leads up to that incident happening.
Yeah, in more than half of the cases, it's an instance where the child was unknowingly left on the car, often in the car. Oftentimes, it's what was supposed to be a drop off at daycare. There was a change in routine, there's a lack of sleep or fatigue in some other way. And that stress causes the brain to go from conscious thinking, kicking into autopilot. And a parent who has set off to drop off at daycare instead loses awareness the child is with them, may think they're with the other parent that day during the drop off, and drive all the way to work, only to find out at the end of the day that the child was actually in the vehicle.
I think there are some recommendations that any of us, whether what kind of child that we have in our life, you know, whether it's a grandparent or a parent or a caregiver or an aunt or an uncle, this is something that probably everybody with a child in their life should do. What is that routine?
Absolutely. Until there's technology in place, which is on the horizon, that can prevent these kind of tragedies, make it a habit of putting something in the back seat that you need at your destination, a handbag, your computer bag, your cell phone, even if you're not the person that drives the child every day. And this forces you every time you stop to open the back door when you get to your destination. It's so simple and it can save lives.
I think people think, well, I won't forget because I don't do this as often, but it really can happen to anyone. And why would you not do something as routine as this to get yourself kind of programmed to look for that in the back seat?
Yeah, and when we talk about prevention, we always say the biggest mistake a parent or caregiver can make is thinking it won't happen to them. It happens to loving, caring parents. We cannot train our brains to not have this failure of the memory where you lose awareness of your child.
So that's one of the incidents where kids are mistakenly left in the back seat of the car. There are other incidents where kids just find themselves in the car.
Yes, in about a quarter of the cases, a child has gained access to the car. They're able to get in and they're not able to get out. So, cars should be locked at all times in garages and driveways, keeping keys and key fobs up and out of reach. And when a child goes missing somewhere, just like you would check all surrounding bodies of water, make sure to check all the vehicles in the surrounding area, including neighbors' driveways.
Right. I mean, maybe, you know, you're doing something in the garage, you leave the garage door open and the kid follows you out and you're doing something else. And then all of a sudden the kid's in the car, they're playing, which seems
Yeah,
innocent enough, but it's not.
absolutely. Yeah. So these are preventable tragedies.
All right, let's talk about legislation that maybe is out there to protect children and prevent these hot car deaths.
Yeah, we've been working on a bill that was passed in Congress that directs the DOT to study and install technology on all vehicles. It's a regulation that would require automakers to have something that senses the presence of a living being inside a vehicle. And it's important to note there are cars out there that already have this. There are many cars that have something that is called a reminder system. If you've opened the door at the start of your trip, when you get to your destination, there's a little chime and a message on your dashboard. But if you don't open the back door, there's no consequence. So you can get the message and walk away, and the child has not been protected. So this bill would ensure that there is a detection system. And if a child is detected, bells and whistles go off, headlights, horn, anything that needs to happen to alert passersby, or even it can be connected to your cell phone or to 911 to call for emergency help.
Which is great, but that is in the future, and a lot of people won't be driving those cars for a long time, so that routine that you talked about earlier is really the key there. Thank you for your time and your expertise. If you've got a child in your life, somebody who has a child in your life, you want to send them this video, it's going to be posted in the Who Wants to Know section of our website.